Okay, Nomad Sailing, another little how-to video. We've got a bit of a maintenance task this morning, so we thought we'd make another one of our great how-to videos. So today we're going to be mousing through one of our halyards. So in front of me here, I've got one of our spinnaker halyards from the front of Nomad, and you can see there, it's starting to get a bit of damage. We think that's being caused by one of the little runners that sits up at the top of the mast. So as part of this maintenance this afternoon, we'll go up and find out what's causing it. But the aim of the first bit is we're going to mouse this through so that we can get this sent off to the rigger and repaired. As you can see in this line, it's not too bad. I've got the fitting here and the quick release clip, but the damage is only about a foot or half a metre up the line. So when we get this line out, it's a Dyneema line. They're quite expensive and they're stitched in quite a particular specialist way that the rigger will splice back in for us. So we're able to take this up to him. The damaged bit will be cut out and then they'll put the attachment back on and re-splice it correctly for us. It's worth noting just before we start, different types of lines. Our main halyard has already been replaced. This end is slightly different. It hasn't got a loop spliced in that we'll see when we use the Dyneema line in a minute. So you'd have to make sure when you attach the mousing line to this that it's nice and secure and it's got a lot of tape on it so that you're not going to lose it inside the mast track. And obviously you'd have to undo that stopper knot to allow it to pass through also. So the tools we're going to need, nothing too complicated. We've got a reeler line here, just nice thin, couple of millimetre line that we can use to mouse. The important thing with this is making sure that what's on this reel is long enough. This mast is about 16 metres. We obviously need enough to be able to get all the way from where we are at the moment, or at least from the base of the mast, up and back down so we can pull our halyard out completely. So some form of line there and some tape so that we can tape it on. We'll tie a knot, but we'll also tape it on so that we know we've got a nice secure thing that's not going to fall off in the middle of the mast. So the first step then, I can tuck that other end away, is to work out which line we're doing. For us, I've identified the other end of it. Our clutches are nicely labelled on Nomad, and it's this red spinnaker halyard. So I'm going to make sure that the spare line this end is completely free to run. And you can see this is what I meant by these Dyneema lines. When they finish them, they actually rig or stitch a little loop in the end there, so I'm able to use that to tie my mousing line onto. So I'll take the end of my mousing line, and I've got the luxury of being able to feed that through this loop and tie a nice secure knot in there. I'm going to go for a bowline, like so. And then what we want to do with the tape, and it's good if you've got an assistant with you, Jim's next to me, so that I can hold this tight and Jim can then tape this up so that nothing's going to get snagged in there and it secures the knot for me. So with a bit of tension on there, we can just wrap some tape around there. Also, this electrical tape's slightly glossy, so it will also help it glide through.
Glide. So that. I may look cat-handed, but actually I'm not.
He's left-handed.
That's it, that's what we call ourselves.
Lovely. So we can see now that's nice and secure. Hopefully that won't come off. And we can start now pulling this line through from the other end. So again, it's good to have a second person. So hopefully Jim can make his way up to the mast for me with the damaged end here.
It's nice that dredging in the background.
Yeah. And then I can simply open up the clutch. It's not under any load. And then as Jim starts to pull his end, I'll be feeding out my mousing line to pull through. And all being well, if my knot tying is good enough, it will come out without any problems at the base of the mast. So there we go, it's through the clutch. And then we can start unreeling.
In the mast. Gonna run out of line?
Hopefully not. Lou's promised us that this line is long enough.
Well, unless somebody's disobeyed my do not cut any more off this line.
Here it comes.
So it's through the mast now. We can see the join. That's all good.
And it's just...
Now that you've got both ends of the line together, you can tie them up, tie them to each other, and then tie them somewhere to the base of the mast, ready to pull through your line once it's been repaired. That's it.